Let's review order of operations. We all know that when you're working with a problem, you always complete your operations working from left to right, with some exceptions. The first exception is if you have parentheses or absolute value symbols, they mean to come in here and complete the operations within here first. Then if you see any exponents, and this is the caret symbol that we use for exponents, if you see any exponents, you will complete them next. After that, multiplication or division, and you complete whichever one you see first, moving from left to right. So if I have 6 divided by 3 times 2, I would complete my division first and then my multiplication. And last, we complete addition or subtraction, again working from left to right. So if I have 10 minus 5 plus 2, I'm going to complete my subtraction first and then add. Of course, we change all subtraction to addition, and once you have all addition, it doesn't matter what order you add things in. So let's look at a couple of examples. I'll have you complete them and then check and see how you did. So in this first example, let me read it to you to make sure you understand the notation. This problem says negative 25 minus, in the numerator, in parentheses, 5 minus 3 times 5 minus 2. In the denominator, 2 to the third power. So I suggest you change all subtraction to addition to start with. And when you do that, a little tip here is this subtraction, when I change it to plus and negative, it really means the opposite of whatever quotient I end up with. So give that one a shot. Here I've rewritten the problem, changing all subtraction to addition. Next, I'm going to work with my parentheses, since that's the first thing you work with. So I worked with my parentheses, which gave me this 2. Next, I'm going to work with multiplication versus addition. And we have to simplify the numerator before we can divide. So I multiplied. Next, I have to continue simplifying my numerator, so I add the 10 plus the negative 2 to get 8. Then I'm going to have to divide the 8 by 8 to get this negative 1 before I can complete my addition. And I have an opposite symbol outside of 8 divided by 8, so instead of it just being 1, it is a negative 1. And then my final answer is negative 26. Here's the problem in its entirety so you can check. Next, go ahead and complete this last problem, and again remember to change all subtraction to addition, and when you do, you're going to end up with the opposite outside of your brackets. So once you find the answer inside your brackets, you have to give it the opposite sign. Check back for the answer. So in my first step, in the numerator, I went ahead and completed the division to get negative 5, and in the denominator, all I did was change all subtraction to addition. So that minus a negative 61 became plus 61, and this minus, the brackets became plus the opposite. In my next step, I can go ahead and finish multiplying from the previous step in the numerator to get negative 25 in the numerator, and we're not taking the absolute value yet. And then in the denominator, I'm going to complete my exponent. Since the negative 4 is not in parentheses, remember this is 4 times 4 times 4, and negative times negative times negative. So it's negative 64. In my next step, I can take the absolute value of the numerator to get 25, and I can go ahead and add what was in my parentheses to get negative 56. In my next step, can't do anything with the numerator right now, but I can go ahead and finish what's inside my brackets, which gives me 5. And I've left this little opposite out here so I don't forget to write down the opposite. You could go ahead and put 6 plus negative 5 to get this step. So we end up with 25 in the numerator. That hasn't changed, and 1 in the denominator, which gives us 25 as our final answer. Here is the last problem in its entirety.